Hey, what's going on with it once again? Ladies and gentlemen, bros and fanboys and fangirls, everyone else in between. Random pop culture news freak here, aka MannyTendoWolverine. You guys are rest of the channel. Follow me on all my links down below. Anyways, I'm not gonna read too much of this one. You hear a little bit of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild music in the background. One of the most beautifulest ones, in my personal opinion, top 5, maybe even top 3 greatest ones besides the Great Fairy Fountain and the Legend of Zelda, like Zelda's Lullaby. And maybe even the other one. There's probably so many tier lists for Legend of Zelda music. It's ridiculous. This is extremely subjective. But I just wanted to read this first 2 parts of the article. It's from News Concerns. I've never read from them before. The main meat potatoes are going to be my old school bad boy. One of the OGs, in my personal opinion, the original classic sandbox gaming FPS shooter games back in the day, which is Twisted Metal. Freaking Twisted Metal, dude. Holy crap! I know this is feeding my nostalgia, and I said the week after next week, January 1st or 2nd, I gotta take out and self-delete my nostalgia, as sad as that is. I'm still physically gonna be alive, but I'll feel like mentally and spiritually I'm gonna be broken inside for a little bit. That's just something I'm gonna have to deal with for the rest of my life. But yeah, Twisted Metal, man. Destructoid All-Stars. Holy crap. I know you guys can't see it, but I can. All-Stars developers. Literally all-star developers, man. I'm glad they did this, because if they didn't, it would have sucked ass. Hopefully next year that is true. Destruction All-Stars hiring exact next-generation multiplayer game has something to do with Twisted Metal, though, trust me. I was going to read it on here, early games. You guys can read that in your own personal time. Yeah. A violent old-school franchise making its way back. Oh, God. But enough of wasting your time. I'm just going to read 2 minutes of this. It's 2.5 minutes, so quick overall thoughts in minutes. Most of it's going to be Twisted Metal, even though I'm playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's officially, I think, confirmed in 2022 is coming out, even though some people, oh, no, it's going to be 2023. Fortunately, it's not going to matter to me anymore, so I don't think I'm going to sadly not care about video games and video game articles, news, industry shit anymore by that point, because of what's happening in Europe and Australia and New Zealand, which I cannot say on this platform. So YouTube is extremely censorship happy, unfortunately. But in the next 3.5, 4 days, I'm probably going to love the crap out of video game news until it's time for me to drop the controller, sadly, and drop the VR and AR shit. So it says, this comes from News Concerns. I don't know who the journalist was, but I get credit to him anyways. So it says, it looks like the release window for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which is unofficially entitled for next week games, and next games in the Zelda series, has potentially been revealed. At this point, Nintendo is only committed to releasing Breath of the Wild 2 at some point in 2022, which has been more defined launch window yet to be revealed. Fortunately, according to one of the Nintendo insiders, they said it was either Jeff Grubb or Matt Booty. It might have been one of the Nintendo insiders. I don't know. A lot of people are saying it's more like Jeff Grubb that said it instead of Matt Booty. But let's continue on. Now we have a better idea of what the game specifically could end up arriving. In the latest episode of IGN's Nintendo Voice Chat podcast, company co-producer Peter Schneider revealed that he has recently spoken to a number of employees of Nintendo with the publisher has in store in 2022, which is next year, less than literally 2.5 weeks from now. Holy shit. While Schneider's didn't get into great detail about what Nintendo's upcoming year might look like, because of course he's under TOS NDA contracts, he said to those that he has spoken to the company are extremely excited in what's in the pipeline. He also went to say that the lack of a new trailer of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2's at last week's The Game Awards, this is the week before last week now, it's almost 2 weeks ago. The Game Awards is the one that Jeff Keighley freaking runs his little circus over there, but let's move on. Event doesn't mean that the game has been delayed out to 2022. Speaking more of the actual release date of Breath of the Wild 2. Later on in the podcast, Schneider suggested that the game will be launching on November 22nd. Oh, no, November 22nd, I wish. November 2022, possibly. It's only a leaked rumor. Take it over now. Huge, tiny, microscopic grain of salt, people. Let's continue. November 2022. Schneider didn't explain that this will be the month of the game. It was probably going to be November, December, because those are always the 2 big, giant holiday seasons. People are going to spend the most money for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Let's trolley on. Let's continue. The game doesn't land on Nintendo Switch. Oh, in which the game does land on Nintendo Switch, but he did say that November will, quote, when we're playing Breath of the Wild 2, unquote. Whether or not this indicates Schneider has insider knowledge of the new Legend of Zelda 2, Breath of the Wild 2's title release date, or instead, just to be assuming the games will be on point, isn't quite well known. Yeah, so overall thoughts, views, and opinions, yeah, there's more to that. You guys can read the whole thing. I only read a piece of it. So there's that. Yeah, overall thoughts, views, and opinions. You're a hardcore Legend of Zelda fanboy, fangirl. I still am, but sadly next year that's probably changing. Oh, this comes from Monica Lozano. Got her credit to credit due to her. I hope it's really awesome. Glitches or BS crap to it. And there's extra DLC or DLC that's going to be charging. It is. Hopefully it's just $5-10 and that's it. So let's move on to the next one since we're talking about this one now. Twisted Metal, my OGs of the OGs. I feel like a 90s kid all over again, man. Honestly, this is one of the top 5, in my personal opinion. The greatest late 90s, early 2000s game of the PS1, PS2 era of all freaking time. And sadly, I'm not going to remember it ever again. Even though next year, there's supposed to be, I don't know, an HBO Max show or a Netflix live action version that's supposed to be coming next year, 2022 for this. So I still might check the show out, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to play the game. But so it says Destruction All-Stars Gaming Development for Hire, exciting next generation multiplayer game. Like I said, you guys can read this one down below. I didn't read early games. So let's continue. A job listing for senior multiplayer gamer Lucid Games added a further fuel to the fire remakes of its next title being Twisted Metals. Comes from Ravi Siana. This one's a little bit more shorter, sweet to the point, so hopefully you guys can see it. Anyways, without further ado, my friends, let's get it started. Hopefully we can get it started. One of the many rumored titles for the PS5 titles is in the works for the revival of Twisted Metal, Sony's famous vehicular combat franchise. This is like freaking old school Mario and Crash Bandicoot, Crash Team Racing, and Disney racing games from the SNES, N64, PS1, PS2, old school Xbox, and old school GameCube era, and even old school Dreamcast, Sega Dreamcast era of racing games. But this one's a lot more crazy and violent because they actually used real life firearms and real life weapons in this game, and they made it into Twisted Metal. At that time, we were super realistic, even though they're all blocky and crappy and the graphics are very low quality. And I never even knew there was a PlayStation 3 version of this. I wish I did, because I didn't even know Twisted Metal was still going on after the PS2 era. I thought after I was, I don't know, 14, 15, after I was done with middle school, my freshman year of high school, I thought that series was over. Because once I hit my sophomore year all the way to senior high school, I didn't even know about it until years later, literally last year, I think 2020. When somebody told me about it, one of my friends at work. Anyways, let's move on. Ignore that. Several other have claimed. Several sources have claimed. There we go. Games of Destruction of All-Star Frame is working on it. Furthermore, the LinkedIn profile after technical game designer Drew William Rostron listed his works on the unannounced flagship first-party AAA IP for the PS5. A new job listing for Lucid Games has further added more fuel to the rumor. The Liverpool-based developer is currently working on seeking a senior multiplayer programmer and working on an exciting next generation multiplayer game. Knowledge and experience of the Unreal Engine networking framework was cited as being desired. The Twisted Metal franchise is well-known player for multiplayer components and with the newest title rumor to be free to play. As seemingly all but confirmed that Lucid Games is working on the same. Of course, they're going to bring it to smartphones and they'll probably add microtransaction and cosmetic bullshit to that, and you got to keep paying and paying and paying until you're probably broke as shit, living on the streets like a homeless dude. So I'm not going to fucking do that shit if that's what they're going to do. Man, I'm not going to play this game and that's what they're going to start doing microtransaction crap. Ugh, that burns my freaking soul like crazy, man. Burns my heart badly, but let's continue. It burns my old school nostalgia feels. That's what we're going to start doing. So my old school stuff was the 90s, 2000s. Because that's why I got to self-delete next year my nostalgia, man. It sucks. If everything falls into place, then next year the new Twisted Metal, unexpected new Twisted Metal to be announced sometime in 2023. Coincidence? Or upcoming TV shows. On the tags were Lucid Games, PSI. Oh, it's coming to the PlayStation 5. Hopefully it's for the PS4 Pro, because there's still a shitload of people that don't go to the PlayStation 5 console. It's very less than an armful of people out there in real life, IRL, that even have a PlayStation 5. Very few people don't. It's probably better, easier to get the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. I mean, if I had to get an Xbox Series S, I'll do it. If I can't find my PS5, but it is what it is. There's so much OG nostalgia. They had the first old school machine weapons, machine guns, all of this, bro. They had flamethrower torches. Sweet Tooth, he was one of the most top 20, in my personal opinion, badass villains of all time. When I was a 90s kid, everyone wasn't allowed to play this at my... Because I had a PS1 and PS2, but I wasn't allowed to play this game, so I had to play it at one of my cousin's places. Because unfortunately, I had super overly religious parents, sadly. And my uncles and aunts were way less religious and shit. So I think it was one of my female like friends. Yes, one of my female cousins. They love the crap out of video games. His name was Mandy's, or the other one. There was another one named. It sounded like Paris Jackson, but it's Perry. We'll just call her Perry. She used to love playing old school video games. She was a hardcore tomboy too, so I already knew right then and there. Even though I was a 9-10-year-old kid, she was. No offense to anyone in that community, like non-binary, gender fluid community, or LGBTQIA plus community. I already knew right there for an early age she was probably LGBTQIA. And I was like, what, 10, 11 years old when that shit came out. When all these Twisted Metal 1, 2, and 3 games were coming out. Holy shit, bro. This is when stuff like Fast and Furious, the Resident Evil franchise, Silent Hill franchise, Metal Gear Solid franchise, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, King of Fighters, Rayman. So many good ass franchises. Ninja Gaiden. Bro, this is the golden age, especially PS2, PS3, the whole Jack and Daxter series. The only one that survived that one was besides, sadly, Jack and Daxter didn't, Sly Cooper didn't. Hopefully they do, because the Crash Bandicoot franchise came back. And Ratchet and Clank was one of those first starting in the early mid-2000s. Holy frick. I was a hardcore fanboy. I was a super, super nerd geek. I geeked the hell out on those things, big time. So that's all I gotta say for now. I'm out of here. Links to about down below. Down cartoon sign. I know it's past 7 minutes, but I gotta give credit where credit's due. Gotta give credit to Ravi Sivian from Gaming Bolt for making this and other games too. Peace out once again, ladies and gentlemen, bros, women, fanboys, and fingers as always. We'll talk to you in I'll see you, and I see you guys good day, good night, wherever I'm universe out there. Stay tuned for your content channel, including video game industry news, AMR news, Sword Tracy drama news, TikTok news, once in a while celebrity gossip news, reaction videos once in a while as well. And that's it. Take it easy. Peace out. My sauerkraut. Ladies and bye. See you in flip side. Stay safe. Take it easy. I'm gone. I'm out. Don't take the jab, aka VAXXCCCINE. And stay awesome. Stay safe. And happy early Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's. Hopefully I can see you tomorrow. Goodbye. And I'll talk to you soon. Deuces.